morning. I'm Ellie. This is our instructor, Teresa Shi. My topic is digital storytelling for enhancing students' academic achievement, critical thinking, and learning motivation at field of experimental study. This is my citation. The authors are from Taiwan Tsinghua Daxue. This study project is in Kuwait. Okay, my content, there are 5 parts in my contents. Introduction, methods, resource and discussion, conclusion and reflection. Okay, definition of the term, DST, digital storytelling, DST. Okay, ITII, information technology integrated instruction, ITII. Okay. There are 7 parts in introduction. First, the big one, digital storytelling, DST, one more time. DST, academic achievement, DST and the critical thinking, DST and the learning motivation, purpose of study, and final research questions. Big one, digital story allow opportunities for student control of the learning process and self-expression, fostering learning confidence, text value, and learning motivation. In 21st century, language learning was technology takes for granted. So a combination of technology with the stories can give student a different learning experience. DST, digital storytelling tests the ancient art of oral storytelling and engages a palette of technical tools to weave personal tales using images, graphic, music, and sounds mixed together with the author's own storybooks. Basically, digital story they have 4 steps. First, you have to find a topic with authentic information. Second, you have to write a logical story. Number 3, taking peer review, critical persuading, and provide suggestions. Number 4, producing multimedia stories with your own voice. DST with academic achievement. It has been demonstrated that an early stage of learning precision, academic achievement correlates positively with oral behaviors of repeating, chanting, and singing. So some research proves that DST have a certain impact, especially on the elementary school. So students have a different experience because academic achievement could give students a different thought. DST and the critical thinking. With the critical theorizing process and reflection skill, storytellers should have deduction and interpretation skill to create dramatic digital stories in order to persuade their audience. So critical thinking, why they need critical thinking? Because we are exploring exposing information, so we have to evaluate their information and translate it into our thoughts. The DST and the learning motivation. Enhancing students' motivation is always the key factor of learning language. By offering meaningful curriculums, students can grow and can gain knowledge of test value and self-efficacy. Learning motivation focus on test value and self-efficacy because test value can bring interest, usefulness, and the importance of course content. And self-efficacy could show in your performance and your capacity. Purpose of study, to examine the comparison between digital storytelling, DST one more time, and information technology integrated instruction, ITII, with innovative technology strategy. There's a research question. Number 1, will there be any difference in academic achievement between classes taught under different levels of ITII? Question 2, will there be any difference in critical thinking between classes taught under different level of ITII? And question 3, will there be any difference in learning motivation between classes taught under different level of ITII? Okay, there are 4 parts in methods: participants, independent variable, and research procedures. First, participants. There will be 110 senior high school students in Taiwan. They all pass entrance exam, the result below the national average. And there were 2 10th grade English classes, and 56 students in comparison group, and the other 54 students are in the experimental group. 56 students were divided into group of 7 as well as experimental group. And the proportion of male and female will be 1 to 2. Independent variable. ITIA basically is a lecture type. So their basic focus on paper-based homework and tests, and occasionally engage with a group discussion, so they have a group discussion. On the other hand, DST gave a short explanation of contents, and they use images, music, graphic, and sounds and their own voices. And of course, group will participate actively. Okay, independent variable. Please look at class activities and time allocations. Please look at instruction in ITII and the student task in DST group. Okay, instruction in ITII, they took 75%. It means it's like a teacher-centered strategy. On the other hand, DST, it took student test took 70%, so it means there's a student-centered strategy. Okay, dependent variable. There are 3 parts: academic achievement in English, critical thinking skill, and learning motivation. Okay, this is an English achievement test, STEM-EAT. There are 5 sub-skills. Every skill has 20 scores except writing. Students were asked to write a 100-word essay. The score will be from 0 to 5. Okay, this is the critical thinking test level 1, CTT5. Okay, they also have 5 sub-skills. Each skill have 5 scores, so they will focus on recognition of assumption, induction, deduction, interpretation, and evaluation of arguments. Okay, this is a motivation strategy for learning questionnaire, STEM-MSLQ. So they focus on test value by items and self-efficient efficacy by items. And research procedures. The duration of this study took 22 weeks. Okay, and there are 2 class activities. First one will be this one. That will be Sky Lantern Festival, and the other one will be the 8 planets. Okay, every class activity took 10 weeks, and there were 2 classes a week and 45 minutes per section. Okay, both groups, they are shared the same course content, instructor, schedule, and the examinations. In comparison group, they discuss a question from the textbook, wrote the composition as collaborative homework. On the other hand, experiment, they collaborative created digital story, encourage group contribution, and the participant. Both groups, they have to present their final work with presentation software, like PPT, for example. In results and discussion, there are 3 parts: academic achievement in English, critical thinking, and learning motivation. Please look at table 4. There's academic achievement in English. Okay, basically, both groups, they have improvement in both post-test. So the result was positive improvement. Okay, and table 5, academic achievement in English. Okay, a significant difference in EAT post-test scores. So the result is positive as well. Table 6 answer the question 1. Here's the question 1 sentence again, so you can see. Post-test score on the 5 sub-skills. The result is significant. Table 7, academic achievement in English one more time. So there are 3 sub-skills different. Significant between 2 groups. The author gave an example of listening, reading, and writing. For example, listening. Why they got improvement? Because in order to understand other teams' presentation, they have to fully understand stories and they provide suggestions. Therefore, their listening skills are improved. And reading and writing part, because they have to write a story, so they have to find the information, authentic information, and they write the vocabulary with the structure, so that in the end, their reading and writing ability were improved. Critical thinking in table 8. Okay, they both have a posted test. The result was improvement. Table 9, critical thinking. Okay, a significant difference in critical thinking score between two groups, so the result was again significant. Table 10, answer question 2 again. So here's a question 2. Okay, the posted score of the 5 sub-skills on CTT level 1, the result was significant between two groups. Table 11, critical thinking. 2 sub-skills differs significant between two groups. So they focus on interpretation. So in order to understand the story, they have to find information, so they have to translate it into their own thought and write down the stories. And evaluation of arguments, peer review to really help students to negotiate their ideas and arguments. Therefore, interpretation and evaluation of arguments, that both abilities are proved. Table 12, in learning motivation. The main score of the experimental group on both pre-test and post-test were improved. Learning motivation, table 13. There's a significant difference in the total score between two groups. Table 14, and once again, the answer question 3. There's a question 3 for you. Posted score of 2 sub-skills of MSLK. So the result was significant. Table 15. Both sub-skills differed significantly between two groups, so they focus on test value and the self-efficacy. Conclusion was such an interesting and challenging digital storytelling curriculum. Students can be profoundly impressed on their potential capacity for language learning talent and higher order thinking skills. Refreshing technology and language learning can form a combination to enhance one's problem-solving skills and higher level thinking ability in order to survive daily life. In 21st century, technology is like our tool, but we have to concern more about our problem-solving skills and your critical thinking, because they are basic technique for you to survive our unpredictable future. Okay, thank you.